how can I maintain my positive emotion even in the absence of things that I want? Or how can I maintain my positive emotion even in the presence of things that I don't want? And we say, it does require a little selective sifting. It does require a little thought management, a little mind control. But what it really requires, first and foremost, is a determination on your part that nothing is more important than that you feel good. Because until you decide that, you will not be willing to manage your thoughts. You will be among the oh so many who think that every thought that you think is good for you, and that objectivity is the secret to your success. Meaning, if I stand in my physical body on the leading edge of thought, and I weigh the pros and the cons, I objectively study and scrutinize all subjects so I have a well-balanced understanding of all things, then I will be a well-balanced and productive citizen. And we say, you will be one with scrambled energy. You will be one who activates within yourself what you want and what you don't want about all subjects. And in doing so, you will weaken your power because you will not be able to have a pure vibrational alignment with your own desire. You cannot focus upon the desire that you want and focus upon its absence and maintain vibrations with both what you want and with the absence of it without slowing down your attraction of this thing that you want. So as you live in your experience, and desire is born as personal preference to you, you become the personal, individual summoner of the energy that creates worlds, and that energy flows to you and through you for whatever creative endeavor you are focused upon. So when you focus that energy toward your desire, and you are in the same moment in alignment with the energy itself, which is what positive emotion feels like, then the energy flows through you, your creations come about, you feel wonderful, you feel productive, you feel enlivened because you are literally flowing life toward your desires, and all goes well for you and you are having fun in the process of it. You feel validated, you feel fulfilled, you feel satisfied, you feel eager, you feel like your inner being feels. But if you are focused upon the absence of something that you want, or if you are focused clearly upon something that you do not want, you are still summoning toward what you are wanting, because in every moment that you know what you do not want, the desire of what you do want is born. So the summoning of what you are wanting is always happening. And so as that desire is focused within you, source energy immediately begins to answer the desire. But if you are focused upon the absence of the desire, now you are holding yourself vibrationally apart from the very thing you want. Many of you have been listening to us and others for a very long time, and you get it that you are the creator of your own experience. And most of you are now able to consciously make the correlation between what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what's manifesting. Today we're wanting to help you fine-tune, to help you to understand that in every moment, if you are consciously aware of the way you feel, then you are consciously aware of your vibrational standpoint, your vibrational point of attraction. You are constantly aware of whether in this moment you are allowing the fullness of who you are to flow to you and through you, or whether you are pinching some of it off in some way. We would like it very much if you could relax into the expectation of well-being flowing to you. We like it when you realize that there is only well-being that is flowing, and it is flowing in huge proportion. You can let that well-being in, or you cannot let it in, but it is always there for you. It is always flowing to you, and it is specifically molded and adapted to the specific desires that you have specifically preferred incrementally all of the days of this physical experience and even before you were focused here. The well-being that is there for your easy access, retrieval, manifestation, exploration, and full experience is beyond our ability to express to you verbally. We want you to know that well-being is yours. You just got to find a way to line up with it. And your emotions let you know how you're doing. When you feel wonderful, you are really in alignment with the well-being that is yours. When you feel ornery, when you feel angry, when you feel depressed, not so much. Your emotions are varied, to put it mildly. There are some emotions that are so suffocating you can hardly get a breath of air. And there are some emotions that are so life-giving you feel you are floating on air. There are some emotions that are so satisfying that you feel who you really are, so purely focused in this moment that in the sublime moment you feel that you are eternal. And there are some emotions that are so absence of the fullness of who you are that you feel the true expression of what must be meant by the word death. Of course, death is only a physical word, and that feeling only comes when you are physically focused. In other words, you got to be alive in this physical body to feel that which you call death. Because death, as you mean it, doesn't exist anywhere in this universe. So, there is the really allowing yourself connection with who you are, and then there is the really pinching it off, and then there is everything in between. And the everything in between is called lots of different emotions. We like to say to you that there are only two emotions, one feels good and one feels bad. You call them all kinds of different things. But today we would like to explore with you this range of emotions, and we would like you to become more friendly toward your emotional range. We would like you to use it as the indicator that it is, the indicator of how fully aligned with who you are in the moment you are being. In other words, how much of who you really are you're allowing, or how much of who you really are you're not allowing. Full allowing or resistance of your connection with who you are. That's what your emotions tell you about. You do not see the gas gauge on the dash of your vehicle, and when it is pointing toward the empty mark, you don't resent it. You don't take your hammer and just beat the gauge off the dash. You foolish gauge, you should be full. What's the matter with you, getting empty like that? Instead, you recognize that it's a gauge and you do something about it. Sometimes you wait too long. And you have negative experiences because you wait too long. But your emotions are a similar gauge. There is the full gauge, which is fully allowing your connection with who you are, and then there's the half-full gauge, which is sort of moving along where most physical beings are, and then there is the quarter tank full gauge, which is I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, and then there is the empty gauge, which, of course, you can never be empty of who you are, but it feels like depression. It feels like betrayal. It feels like powerlessness. So there is fully empowered, which is who you really are, and then there's that feeling of absence of empowerment, which you might feel is powerlessness. There is that feeling of ecstasy, and there is that feeling of depression. In other words, your emotions let you know what you're doing vibrationally. So, how do you empty of your energy, or how do you empty of your power? Well, those words really aren't accurate, because you can't empty of it, because you are not a vessel that is empty or full. Instead, you are a radio. You are a transmitting and receiving mechanism. You are someone who focuses upon thoughts which have vibrational content, and as you focus upon them, then your being takes on that vibrational content. So if you are appreciating, if you are praising, if you are looking for positive aspects, if you are looking for reasons to feel good, then you are continually aligning with the signal that is who you really are, and you are maintaining that connection with who you really are. And like your toaster that is plugged in, you are able to toast your bread. In other words, you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. But if you are finding fault, if you are not feeling good, if you are feeling unworthy, if you are focused upon those things that don't feel so good, then you are not allowing your full connection to who you really are. We want to help you, you leading edge creators out here on the leading edge of thought, teachers of teachers who have been exploring with us this idea of deliberate creation for some time. We want you to stop beating up on yourself when you find yourself in negative emotion and instead adopt a new mantra that said, I'm going to reach for the best feeling thought. Here's the new part that I have available. I'm going to reach for the best feeling thought that I have available. And it would be very helpful to you if you will stop comparing how you feel right now and the thought that you might come up with. Stop comparing it with the best feeling thought that you've ever thought. Or stop comparing it with the best feeling thought that anybody has ever thought. Stop comparing it with the best feeling ever thought. Instead, say, I want to find the best feeling thought that I have access to right here and now. And can you feel how, if that is your mantra, if you say, here and now I'm going to find the best thought I can find, and then you find it, and even if it's a really crummy thought by world thought standards, instead you stop and say, good for me, I found a less crummy thought. This thought is not as painful as the thought I was thinking before. And so stop in the improved thought, recognizing the improved feeling, and say to yourself, I feel better. And in doing so, you have reclaimed your power. Because now you're saying, I felt that way and it was awful. And now I chose this thought. And while it's not the best thought I've ever thought or the best thought that anyone would like me to feel or think, I feel better. And in doing so, you've reclaimed your power. Because if you can go from that suffocating, depressing, grief thought and feeling to anger and recognize that you feel better, then there's no place that you cannot go. When somebody says to you, you should not feel the way you feel, you gotta say to them, I gotta feel the way I feel. I feel the way I feel because of the habits of thoughts that I've picked up along my physical trail. No one can tell you how you should feel. Your indicators tell you how you do feel. Now, you know where you are and you know where you want to be. Now, your reason for life experience in this physical body is now coming into focus because now here you are, here I am, and here's where I want to be. But can you feel the difference between saying, here I am and here's where I want to be, and here I am and here's where I want to be? In other words, here I am and here's where I want to be. So you're just constantly making your new statement of what you want. So here you are in this mode of frustration. Don't beat up on yourself because you're not where you want to be. Instead, do something about it. Keep yourself pointed to where you want to go. And it is our promise to you that you have to go there. Everyone is that way. You go where you are looking. You go where you are focused. You go vibrationally to that which you are giving your attention to. So can you feel the power of the mantra that says, wherever I am, here I am, I'm reaching for the best thought I have available. And now you're not beating up on yourself because you didn't get all the way over there. Instead, you get to a better feeling place. You know that you got to a better feeling place. You stabilize in your better feeling place. You don't compare your better feeling place to somebody else's best ever feeling place. And you regain your power, and then you say, I made it here, now I can go here, and then I can go here. So, wherever you are is wherever you are. Deep depression? Maybe. Wanting to be connected to Source and feel the sublime ecstasy of fulfillment and connection to Source? Maybe. So maybe your range is from here to here, but at least you know where you are and where you want to be. Frustration? Maybe. Where you want to be? Sublime ecstasy. At least you know where you are and where you want to be. And the thing that we would like to call your attention to is this range between where you are and where you want to be. We want you to focus upon where you are and where you want to be. We would like you to embrace where you are, because where you are is just fine. Where you are is the byproduct of the sifting and the sorting. Where you are is a work in progress. Where you are is all right. Where you are, especially if you are consciously aware of where you are, is in a very good place, because If you are knowing where you are and you are knowing where you want to be, then you can feel as you beat the drum, whether you're beating the drum toward what you are wanting or whether you're going in the opposite direction. And that's really what we're wanting you to feel here today.